Okay, good evening everyone. My name is Jenna Sabin. And I am going to start off by giving you a handout, which is the Youth Assessment Questionnaire. And this is utilized for youth up to 18 years old, but was also utilized for the majority of the studies I came across because of its validity and reliability in the subjects that it's tested. So if you take a look at it, I mean, this is the actual test right here. So you guys only have one portion of it. So as you can see, it's very long. It's 10 pages. So I just gave you a shortened version. Look it over. I want you to get an idea of some of the in-depth questions that are asked when administering this to athletes. I know the majority of you are athletes in here, or were athletes at one point, and I'm kind of curious to see if you are able to answer these questions, or if you even remember, or if you even want to admit the last time you ate a vegetable or an apple. You too, Professor Smith?
I did. I was like, man, that something makes me hungry.
Not punished.
I saw raisins and went, Oh, here's main dishes.
So while you guys are looking this over, we graded on it, so it's just stressed out. It's just more so for your knowledge. I'm going to introduce my research, which is, are collegiate female athletes nutritionally competent in fueling to perform? And the reason I did females is because it was a smaller subject area. If I included males, we have different dietary behaviors and nutritional intake values. It was just easier to just focus on females. No offense. It's a pitchy version. Oh man. That was my staple for a while.
What's wrong with you? I'm sorry. I had 4 tacos today.
So a little more information about the questionnaire you guys are filling out. It consists of 131 questions and takes about 30 minutes. This will make a little bit more sense later on as we get through the presentation, because you'll start to understand why there's a lack of studies conducted on the nutrition of athletes. It's time consuming, athletes lack time. This is the last thing we want to do, is fill out a handout involving what you ate. A lot of athletes are not there in that present moment, and they could just be, checking things off just to get it over with. However, in the studies that they have used, it is the most reliable and valid. So that's why it is continued to be used. You guys can continue to fill it out if you want, but I just wanted to give it to you so you can kind of have an idea of what that actual questionnaire looks like. Because again, it was utilized in every study that I came across for all of my references. Now, if you look up here, you'll see that the reason I wanted to emphasize the nutritional knowledge of collegiate athletes is because, hey, you guys still or were athletes. I was an athlete, and going into college, no one ever taught me, and I'm sure you guys, raise your hand, was it your health teacher who was responsible for teaching you about nutrition and what to eat? especially going from a high school level to a club level to a collegiate level. Who was responsible? Whose job was that? Who taught you, Talon, what to eat? When to eat it? What are you supposed to eat before your 6 a.m. weights?
Taught myself.
You taught yourself, Reggie. Kyle? Taught yourself? Okay.
Parents.
Parents?
Before college?
Yeah.
Yeah, parents.
Parents?
So, before college.
Track coaches.
Wow, we got one coach right there. Okay. Dr. Daniel?
Coaches.
And even when you played at the professional level, did you have a dietitian?
No, I never played at the professional level. I stopped at college.
Okay, so when you played with Glenn, did you guys have a dietitian?
We did not, but we had, in the Department of Kinesiology, which I was a major, we had a guy who focused on diets, and he was very, very good with.
Now, was he available just specifically for your team, or was he supposed to oversee all of the?
No, he wasn't. He didn't oversee anybody. He was just someone I latched on too early because I saw he had knowledge I didn't have, and
So you were smart then.
I knew I needed it. So.
Oh, it's Dr. Daniel.
Okay. So basically, we all went into college playing at an intense level, myself Division I, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to cook. I know how to clean, but I don't know how to cook. I was never taught how to cook because I never had the time. And I don't know a lot about nutrition. I know a little bit. I know how to read food labels because my mom taught that to me at a very young age. I would always flip something around and look at the food labels, read the ingredients, look at the calories, look at the fat, look at the sugar. That's just kind of been a passion of mine. I still do that to this day. It takes me like 2 hours at HEB sometimes because I'm comparing all the different brands and whatnot. But if that's not implemented at a young age, we go into college and it's a whole new environment, it's a whole new world, let alone the devil of the cafeteria, okay? You can go to the salad bar, but it's like, I just lifted a lot of weight, I'm not gonna be satisfied with the salad. So how are you supposed to know what to eat? So that's where the passion came from for me wanting to conduct this research because it's lacking extremely. We all know that athletic performance is enhanced by optimal nutrition. And again, I'm shocked as to why there has not been more research done involving collegiate athletes, dietary behaviors, and intake. Nutrition-related knowledge deficits and dietary inadequacies continue to persist, even into 2015, which is shocking to me. It hinders athletes' ability to achieve peak performance. I found this interesting, the college food pyramid. It actually existed. Someone took the time to make this. It's not a real thing, but what's at the base of that college food pyramid?
Ramen noodles.
Yeah. Top ramen, Easy Mac, and other microwavable foods. Raise your hand if you have a microwave in here and you use it every day. Nothing wrong with that. My sister and I actually got rid of our microwave a month ago. I almost cried a little bit because I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to make it. I need to survive. I've just been cooking on the stove and it's been fine. You just take a little bit more time. Up the next section up there, we got chips, cookies, and other snacks. How many of you have ever eaten chips, cookies, and other snacks before a weight training or a cardio workout with your team? Don't lie. Because it's quick energy, right? The sugar, the glucose breaks down quickly, but then how do you feel afterwards? Or in the middle of the training, if you even make it. Fatigue, low energy, you weren't eating enough sufficient nutrients to fuel your entire practice. Fast food delivery, raise your hand, pizza. Oh yeah, pizza, okay? You guys get the point. The purpose for this study is to bring awareness to the fact that college athletes lack even the basic nutritional knowledge. Not all, but some, the majority. These three guys taught themselves what to eat. Jason, your parents. Andre, your parents. Wasn't your health teacher. I'm passionate about health because that's what I taught. That's what I got my degrees in. It was high school health teaching. So I try to teach my kids how to go to the grocery store and look for the items that they could benefit from, what they needed to eat, sweet potatoes, the nutrients they needed, the vitamins, the minerals, and do it effectively, cost effectively, I mean. Whereas if they're not having that type of mentor or that health teacher, it's the parents' job, right? And the parents aren't always there. sometimes, so or they don't have parents. So whose job is it? Effective implementation on behalf of players and coaches is lacking. So everything is all hyped up, nutrition, nutrition. I dug around and found my packet actually from when I was in college of what my strength and conditioning coach gave us. It's all really good information. Yeah, we look at it, but this doesn't teach you how to eat effectively. This just tells you what you should eat. First choice protein, skim milk, soy milk, okay? Great. This doesn't actually mean I'm going to do it, okay? Terms to know, do you guys get these for football, these packets? You don't, do you look at it? Let's be honest. You might glance at it, but then you're like, hey, these are things I already know. And then you just throw it to the side. Dr. Daniel? Yeah. Simple snack options, skim milk. How is that a snack? Light popcorn, any type of nuts, okay? I understand that. But the point is, we all just toss these to the side. So it's not being implemented. They're trying, they're doing what they're supposed to do, but then once it's in the athlete's hands, our job's done. It's up to them to make sure that they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's where the problem lies, because they're not. Methodology. Subjects, collegiate female athletes from Division I, II, and III universities. The different testing I came across, you have one of them right in front of you, is the, it's a food frequency questionnaire. We have the food record and diet history, so like a food log or a journal. And then the 24-hour recall interview. I would sit down with you and you would tell me everything that you ate in the last 24 hours. You can see where there's going to be some error and limitation in that due to forgetting. List of my sources, where I found the majority of my research. All really good as well. So, I love her, by the way. I tried to find a picture that wasn't too distracting, but also kind of showed the fact that this is kind of embarrassing and shocking. So the results from the majority of the studies. Athletes fail to meet their estimated energy needs. Without energy, you can't run, you can't lift, you can't perform to your full potential, correct? Common sense. Evidence shows nutritional knowledge is lacking. Only 9% of 185 student athletes showed adequate sports nutrition knowledge. 9%. And only 27% ate breakfast regularly. How many of you would fall under that category? No breakfast? No breakfast? Oh, you eat breakfast. Okay. Oh, I said it wrong. My apologies. So of this, the 27%, how many of you do not eat breakfast on the regular? You're not consistent with it, at least. It's kind of like, I don't have enough time, or I'm not really hungry. I'll just grab a protein bar and eat it afterwards. What do you guys eat before your 6 a.m. weights? Or what did you eat before your, did you have 6 a.m. weights? Okay, no? You're lucky.
Like Pop Tart and an energy drink.
Are you serious? This is what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Sometimes I eat an energy bar or whatever, but I'll still eat breakfast afterwards.
Okay, good. What about you, Talon?
Talking about like 6 a.m. runs?
Yeah, so after your weights, are you
After
getting a good
that.
meal in there?
Definitely.
Okay. Now, does that energy drink and Pop-Tart help you? Do you feel like you ate anything or have any energy?
It's a red line energy drink, so it's pretty serious.
Red line?
Not the whole thing. I just sip it.
Now, how many of your teammates can you say do that same thing?
I know on game day,
Quite a few, right? Now, what about at halftime? Are you guys going in there? I know you guys have those little muscle milk bars.
yeah, that's not.
Yeah, definitely not enough. So are you eating 3 of those, or are you supplementing something else with that?
Well, I ate too much before, and I didn't like it.
Okay, so
I
the
just ate one.
gastrointestinal discomfort is another reason why athletes don't eat breakfast before their weights or before their practices. Thank you, Talon. Those good help right there. Show that you are part of the statistic. Here's a figure that shows the males are in black, the females are in white. The percent of male and female athletes who exceeded the dietary guidelines for intake of total fat, saturated fat, cholesterol, sodium, and sucrose. What is sucrose? Sugar. Anything that ends in O is a sugar. Fructose comes from fruit, lactose.
Females took the lead in sugar.
Okay, so the females love their sugar. Okay, I'm not going to deny that, right, girls? We do love our sugar. So we're getting the majority of our calories from sugar, or that's the ingredient we're exceeding the most. What about males?
Fat.
Fat. So when you think of fat, what type of food?
Right.
Fast.
Fat,
Right.
exactly. Fast food and eating out. Mexican restaurants is the
Bacon.
majority of where the fat calories were consumed from. And look at the difference in the males from the females. What else does this show you? Females are
Conscious of that.
self-conscious, exactly. Self-conscious of fat. Do we need fat? Absolutely, or else our brain, we have fat in our brain. If we're not getting enough fat, we're going to start to space out, or we're going to have memory problems, we're going to be tired, we're going to be fatigued, all of those awesome things. So in conclusion, to wrap it all up, 3 things that need to happen. We need to educate student athletes. Effective nutrition interventions are extremely necessary. And we need to develop sport-specific nutritional plans. So not just handing them that packet. You actually need to follow through. And you need to teach them and educate them what to eat, when to eat it, and how to eat it. I believe if we implement a class that is required for every freshman to take, where you teach them how to cook, regardless if they have a kitchen or not, and you teach them how to go grocery shopping, what ingredients to buy, their budget, how they can eat within that budget, and just show them how they can carry on these life skills for the rest of their life, because it's not just about those 4 years. It's about overall health and wellness well into your future. Okay. References, and any questions?
Yeah, going back to your package for the athletes, how would you think about, like, how would you go about, like, actually making them physically do what you're trying to tell them to do?
As a strength coach, you can only do so much. That's what you're asking, right?
Yeah.
You want to be a strength coach. You can give them everything you can. You can invest all this time into them. They're not going to be receptive to it unless it's forced. Being on the other end of the spectrum, being an athlete, like I said, we get those packets, we look at them, but that doesn't mean we're going to be going to the grocery store, we're going to be eating those type of foods. So you have to get them involved and get them to buy into their own health and wellness and show them that eating these types of food are going to help give them the energy that they need in order to perform. So you could do some type of pre and post test, like with the DEXA scanner. Have any of you guys done that? You're at school? The thing is awesome. So it tells you your body fat, it tells you your body weight, it tells you your bone density to fat ratio, your lean muscle to fat ratio, how much fat and muscle is in your right arm compared to your left, your right quad compared to your left quad. It's awesome. So if you have access to something like that, you would be amazed to see how much the athletes actually, once they see it on paper, they're like, oh my gosh, okay, cool. And then they want to learn more. So you're kind of just starting to get them excited about it and getting them to buy in. And then they'll be like, oh, okay, so I want to, a lot of the girls want to lose 5 pounds or lose weight. So you can show them, okay, well, if you eat this for breakfast, have this as a snack, eat this for lunch, have that as a snack, eat this for dinner, they'll be like, okay, and then they'll try it. And then eventually, once they see the results and the benefits from after a month or so, or 3 months, doing a post-test, that's one option. Expensive, but it's a start. Yes, sir.
This might be a little bit off topic, but did you find anything in your research about the fact that eating healthy is more expensive and that maybe college students can't afford?
Absolutely. There was a whole list of reasons why, between time and not having a kitchen, being a freshman and being in the dorm, not being able to cook, and money budget was huge. That's why I would love to, if I could run something like this, is I would teach the course and I would also prepare a budget plan. So like, let's say you came to me telling you said, I have $30 a week for food. I would then kind of try and come up with, or teach you how to come up with and devise a plan to where you can go to the store and get your sweet potatoes, or just learning how to look at the HEB, what are they called? Not catalogs that come in the mail.
The sale catalog, the sale flyers.
Yeah, the flyers. And just circling what's on sale and focusing your attention on that, like, oh, raspberries are on sale this week, that's what I'm gonna buy. So it's not just buying raspberries all the time, it's buying what's on sale and what's in season. And it's learning how to, oh, tomatoes aren't in season this month, I'm gonna switch over to something else that's gonna give me the same amount of nutrients that I need. Or I'm just gonna switch to the canned version. It's not the healthiest, but you're burning so many calories as it is, you can afford to make that change. Good question. Yes, sir.
One thing we tried at our undergrad, our women's soccer coach got in contact with his staff athletic trainer and tried to make like an accountability system to make sure that his athletes are on track, but the trainer like never held up her part of the bargain. So like if you had like access to that, what kind of techniques would you do for that?
Now, I can tell you the reason why they probably didn't hold up to that bargain is because it's a lot of extra work and time that they don't have. They're not being supplemented for that. That's not something that they're getting paid extra for. And it's exhausting, and that's another reason why there's so much need for this and lack of studies and research conducted because it's very time consuming. So what I came up with is, I know this might be la la land and not necessarily possible, but making them take a class as a freshman that teaches them basic 101 cooking, nutrition, and how to eat for their specific sport. I think if that is, I mean, we could take like Dr. Parker or even, you know, right here and just teach basic nutrition. It's so easy to tweak and fine tune to athletes, especially if you already have a PhD or if you're a nutrition teacher like Dr. Parker. I'm sure they'd be extremely passionate about that, especially if they were a prior athlete. That would be a lot more relatable to as well. But that's a big burden to put on athletic trainers. They already are swamped as it is.
Not a question, but a comment. Adding on to the reasons why athletes don't eat right, it is related pretty much.
Absolutely, convenience.
Especially freshmen and things like that. They basically don't want to spend time cooking. They are.
Well, you guys don't have time, right? You're exhausted. You guys are you're going to class, you're doing homework, and you're going to a sport. A lot of times, 2 times a day. You have no energy left at the end of the day to want to do anything except crash in your bed. So, and it takes a lot of time and patience and practice with the meal prepping, but I think once you're given that tool and you understand how easy it is, once you make it a habit, it's something that sticks with you for the rest of your life. And then you won't even remember the fact that you ate Pop-Tarts and energy drinks before training anymore, because you'll have eggs that you made the night before that you had in the fridge that you popped in the microwave while you were showering. So it's just kind of learning how to do things like that and preparing. And even though you're exhausted, once you have it part of your daily routine and your plan, it's easy to implement. But you're totally right.
Good.
Definitely.
Thank you, Jenna. Excellent.